Hi, my name is Rick Reed. I'm going to be your economics instructor this semester. We're going to have a great semester. I want you to know, though, if you're sitting there and you're just a little bit nervous about economics and you're wondering what exactly economics is all about, and you're really kind of uncertain, you're really not sure, you're not an economics major, and you're just a little bit nervous, I want you to know that it's a fairly common experience for people when they start the course to have that moment where they kind of go, I don't know what all this stuff is about. I've never heard of an opportunity cost. What the heck is an externality? I'm just so confused. I don't know where to turn. And then I started doing the reading, and I thought my head was going to explode. Oh my goodness! Settle back, relax, don't worry. This is a pretty common reaction for people taking their first economics class. I want you to know that most of our economics students will survive and actually do pretty well and learn a lot of stuff that they find that's really interesting and give them things to talk about with their friends and family. Now, one of the key important things to remember, though, for success in a class like this is to allocate enough time every week. And what do I mean by that? Well, economics at this school is a 3-credit-hour class. And the rule of thumb is that for a 3-credit-hour class, you're spending 3 hours in class and then another 3 hours for every credit outside of class. So if you're in a face-to-face section, that's 3 hours in the class, physical class, and another 3 times 3, 9 hours studying, preparing homework, doing assignments, getting things ready to hand in, whatever the case might be. If you're on an internet section, that's a total of 12 hours devoted to reviewing the PowerPoint slides, participating in class on the discussion board, and again, handing in assignments, reading, doing the homework. If you allow that amount of time, you'll find that this class isn't that difficult as long as you keep up every week. So keeping up and having enough time every week are two really important things. Now, what about the way this class is laid out? In organizing this class, I've set everything up into buttons, individual buttons. This first week, you'll find is a little bit more content, but it's focused on the mechanics of the class. So the first thing I want you to do is to go through everything that's in the Start Here button. And I know you found the Start Here button because that's where this video resides. You're watching the video, that was in the Start Here button, and it should be right about there on Blackboard. After you've reviewed or read everything and done everything in the Start Here button, the next thing I want you to do is look for the button that says Syllabus. The course syllabus, again, is right up there, and the course syllabus lays out all the rules and way things will work in the class, gives you a good, thorough description of everything. And I have to say that when you first open it up, you're going to say, oh my goodness, that's a lot of reading. And yes, it is. It's about the same length as a chapter in your textbook. But that's why I've allowed this full first week to get familiar with the syllabus. And I mean read it, not just skim it. Read it and to explore the Blackboard website the way I've got it laid out. And then the third thing I want you to do is to go in the Week 1 button. And the Week 1 button is also over on this side, and that'll have all the stuff pertaining to this current week. Normally, during the semester, you'll find things like PowerPoints, homework assignments, anything that needs to be handed in, it'll all be right there. If you're one of the online students, there are audio recordings in the PowerPoints. Be sure to listen to those, because if you don't, you'll miss important information. If you're in a face-to-face section, the audio recording will be separate, and it will be everything we covered in class. So it's there for your review. If you've already been to class, that's something you can go back and listen to something again. So we talked about scheduling, and let me give you an example of what I mean by a typical week schedule. I put together an example of what that should look like.
So what you see on this calendar is that this student is scheduled in time to work and the specific times they're going to work, when they're going to be working on their communication skills class, and when they're going to be doing their economics class work, as well as when they're going to be opening their mail, having time with their family, do their grocery shopping, and maybe even a little free time during the week. But it's important to get this down so that you have a very clear picture of when you're going to relax, when you're going to work, and when you're going to be on Facebook.
So we talked about scheduling. We talked about the buttons. What about when you have a question? Where do you go with that? How do you reach your instructor to get your questions answered? Well, I've given you a number of different ways. The first one is, again, over here you'll notice there's a button marked All Questions for Rick. And I answer those questions before I do anything else when I come into the office every morning. That's the first thing I pay attention to. And the reason I do that is because that's where you'll put questions about how the course is organized or things you don't understand. And what I do is I leave that open for all the other classmates to be able to see your question and my answer. It ends up being a living frequently asked questions, or FAQ, document for everybody to be able to refer to. That's not where you put anything related to your personal grades or your personal homework or anything having to do with you individually, because again, the whole class would be able to see it. For those kinds of personal communications, the second way you can reach me is by sending me an email. And my email address is right down here. It's readr@fvtc.edu. Send me an email and I'll respond as quickly as I possibly can. The third thing you can do is to visit me during office hours, either on the phone or in person. The office hours are specified on page 1 of the course syllabus, and I'm there for you and your classmates. So you can stop in and reliably find me there, or call me and I'll answer. Unless, of course, I'm with another student, and then I'll return your call if you leave me a message. Now, in addition to those 3 ways, I also will take phone appointments. So what I mean by that is, if you'll email me, again at readr@fvtc.edu, if you'll email me and send me your phone number and 2 blocks of time that you can be reached at, I'll call you during one of those times, and we can talk about whatever you want privately. In addition, after we get the semester started, I will take input from all my classes, and I will set up an office hour electronically. And what I mean by that is, Blackboard has this neat thing called Blackboard Collaborate, and we can set up a chat session, we can do a audio conference or a video conference, or all 3 of them at the same time. And that's an hour, and I usually set it up during the evening or weekend, whatever works out for most of the students, and I can answer all the questions that you might have about subject matter. And so we'll set that up in a short time after the semester gets started. So, how to be a successful student in this class? Well, number 1 is keep up to date. Make sure you're doing everything based on the deadlines laid out in the course syllabus. Number 2, make sure that you schedule enough time to get all your work done. Number 3 is, when you have questions. Everybody has questions about economics. So when you have questions, be sure and ask them, and your questions will be answered. We want to get you going with the right information as quickly as possible. If you'll do those 3 things and let me know where you may need additional help, I'll do everything I can to help you be successful in this class, and maybe even have a little bit of fun during the semester. So again, welcome to economics. I think if you do what I've laid out in this video and keep up to date, not only will you find that at the end of the semester you've learned a few things, but who knows, we may even have a little bit of fun. So welcome. Here's to a great semester.